right, so welcome. Thank you for joining Mindful Flow practice this morning. Today's going to be a nice hip opener. We're going to really do a lot of different postures that are designed to release the hips. Summertime is such a time of travel, and one of the things I wrote about in my newsletter lately was that the problem with traveling is you're generally sort of cramped in one spot for an extended length of time. So I had put several different ideas for some easy hip releases if you were traveling or if you were just working all day and kind of sitting in your chair. The hips are what I hear about. Hips and lower back is what I hear about the most from people who really need a little release. So today, like I said, we're going to do a deep dive into the hips. And we're going to start off with what we sometimes do in my restorative practice, which is a restorative Supta Baddha Konasana or bound ankle pose. So just bear with me for a moment as we set this up, and then we can sit back and start to relax. So what we're going to do is set if you haven't done this before, we're going to set the blocks up with one tall block at the back of the mat, and then you're going to take the second block and place it in front on the shorter side. So it's a tall block and then a shorter block. And then if you have a bolster or a really firm, supportive cushion, a bolster is really best because it gives you a lot of support. You're going to lay that and create an incline. So the key here is to make sure that if you push on it, it's really not going to go anyplace. So just make sure that feels nice and firm. The second part of this opening posture then is to take and a yoga blanket works really well for this. So if you take a yoga blanket, you could also use, you could go without this part if you didn't have anything appropriate, but if you take a yoga blanket and you create what we call a quarter fold, which is just folded in half and then folded in half again. And then we're going to take that quarter fold and we're going to fold it long ways in the middle and then long ways again so that you create a nice, long, straight, rectangular shape. And this is what we're going to lay on our feet. So we're going to start off by just sitting back, placing the back of the lower back next to the bolster. I'm going to bring the soles of the feet together, and here's where you can really design this yourself. If you want the feet to be further forward, you can do that. If you want to bring them closer in to the groin, that's fine too, but just find a place where the feet can come together, and then you're going to lay that long, flat blanket centered on top of your feet. Once you have the blanket laying on top, you're going to take your hands and scoop them underneath your knees. You're going to grab each end of that blanket and you're going to pull the ends of the blanket around your ankles. You're going to make that nice and tight. So just pull the blanket as tightly as you can. This is going to engage your feet, pull them, it's going to pull them together. And once you let go of the blanket, this is why a yoga blanket is nice, it's going to stay in place. So with that setup in mind, go ahead and then start to lay backwards, just letting your back come down on the bolster and lay all the way back. Now, additionally, if you wanted to, you could bring something else underneath your head. You could make your head come up a little bit higher, but if it feels okay, just lay all the way backward. Allow your arms to drape down on either side so that the palms are reaching down to the mat, and just let your arms be nice and loose. Just let your elbows be heavy, let your arms be loose, and make sure that your back is comfortable. And then bring your attention back to your hips, your seat, your legs, and your feet. And you're just going to feel the gentle pressure of your feet being pulled together and bound together with the blanket. And then allow your knees to just drop open. And when you do that, You're going to feel a release that starts to begin in the hips. You're going to feel the sensation of tightness as it really becomes more apparent to you, where you may have some tightness in the hips at this point. But try to breathe into your hip joints. Try to breathe into the connection between your leg and your pelvis. And soften into that area with each subsequent breath. So now that you've created the posture, all we have to do is relax into it a little bit deeper, a little bit more. And we're going to do that through some mindful use of our breath. So begin to relax down and feel your breath moving in and out of the body. Feel your chest rise and fall. And continue to let go of all the muscles of the legs. You're going to want to hold tight. You're going to want to engage or grip. Because the body wants to protect itself. It wants to feel as if it could move at a moment's notice if needed. So this is really a mind over matter type of yoga practice, where we're teaching the mind to let go and relax and assure the body that all is well. Soften through the knees. Feel yourself held by the support of the blanket, by the gentle support underneath your back. And breathe into your hips as your knees drop open a little bit more. Just a hair's width at a time. As your body starts to respond to the posture, ask yourself if there's any type of stress or anxiety that isn't serving your highest good today. Kind of fears or worries. If there has been something on your mind, just acknowledge, first of all, that it's there and it's okay. Acknowledge that it's okay to feel whatever you feel. Each breath, imagine yourself letting go of that fear, letting go of that worry or concern. Because in almost every case, worries and anxieties do not serve our higher purpose. Free yourself. Keep breathing, letting go. And we're just going to stay here for about a minute. And I'll let you silently drop in and feel the soothing presence of your breath. hips start to open. As we move through this practice today, perhaps you can repeat the mantra to yourself. Let go, let go, let go. Breathing in and out. Let go, let go, let go. We're going to take 5 more breaths here. Very nice. Breathe in and out. Let's do one more. One final breath. Make this the deepest breath you've taken yet today. Exhale and let go. Go ahead and open your eyes if you have them closed. We're going to start to raise the knees and heel toe the feet so that they're hip distance apart. Before you come up off of the bolster, just slide your feet out to the outer edges of the mat and let your knees and thighs drop inward toward each other. Take the heel of your hand and create some circles right on your thigh and hip connection. Just slowly massaging like you're kneading bread, just pressing in nice and slow and circular. Give yourself a little love and feel those areas that have already begun to release. Alright, bring your knees back up. Start to lift up your head and raise yourself up off of the bolster. We're going to remove the props. Just lay the blanket to the side. We're done with the bolster, so you can push that out of the way. And let's bring those blocks back up to the front so that we can use them throughout the rest of the practice flow. Just go ahead and while you're in this seated position, place your hands next to your hips. And let's just create a little bit of mobility to begin. Rocking the knees back and forth. Big windshield wiper. Hopefully we won't have any of that rain today. We won't have to use those wipers, but rock them back and forth. And that's good. Let's bring them back up to the top and we'll come on into a table position. Come on to all fours. And in tabletop position, just take a couple of cat-cows and wake up the spine a little bit, dropping the belly down, letting the heart reach forward. Soften your elbows as you come into cow so that your heart can really reach. You just want to let those hips open wide in the back. Breathe here. And then let's stretch it up into a cat stretch. Bring your chin all the way into the breastbone. Press up between your shoulder blades. Let the upper back rise to the sky. Breathe in deeply here. Come on back to tabletop position. We're going to bring the right foot forward between our hands and slide the left knee back. So slide it back just a few inches so you have a nice long stretch on your left hip flexor. Your hands can be up on blocks if that makes your upper body a little bit more supported. Just take a moment here and feel that stretch in the left hip flexor. Your top of the foot can be down flat on the mat, or you can have those toes underneath, whichever creates more stability and support for you. Breathe in, lift up your chest, come up to fingertips to start, widen your collarbones, and then go ahead and let your fingers rise. Gently float them up to the ceiling or the sky. Take a deep breath in as you come to the top, and then let your hands come back down. All right, so from this initial lunging position, we're going to take the right hand and bring it to the inside of the right foot. And down just a little. So bring your hand to the inside of the foot and then heel toe the right foot out. Eventually bringing your right toes almost off the mat, or maybe a little bit off the mat, and your foot is at a diagonal. So your heel may be on the mat and your toes might be off. Then reposition your hands so your blocks or your hands are directly underneath the shoulders once again. Now we have this right hip opened up. We are in a beginner or an initial lizard pose. So that right hip is open. Left hip flexor still getting some stretch there too. Breathe here. Just feel this initial setup for lizard pose, and then if you like, you can drop your forearms down. And this is going to create a more intense feeling on that right hip, so only drop them down if you have room in the right hip. The other option is to take your blocks and bring your forearms down to blocks. So you can bring them down to forearms, you can raise your elbows, you can have your hands, just find the right amount of opening in the hip for you, always listening to your body. Another option is to lift up the left knee. If it feels better to lift up the left knee, then you can bring that high as well. Sometimes that puts a little bit of pressure on that knee when it's down on the mat. And I find that it feels better to have it lifted up. It takes a little more strength, but sometimes it actually feels a little better. Now we've gone from a restorative posture right into a yin pose. And in yin yoga, we allow ourselves some time to settle into the body, feeling the stretch as it kind of marinates. If you've ever marinated a meal or marinated your food, you know that it takes time, right? So time is the key. Your breath once again. Perhaps come back to the mantra. Let go, let go, let go. I'm going to take 3 more breaths here. Let go of anything that's creating fear or anxiety for you. Last breath. Alright, and to come out of lizard pose, we're going to bring our hands back down in front where they were before. If your knee is down, you might want to lift it up here. Heel toe that right foot back so that your knee is now directly under or on top of the ankle. We're in a traditional low lunge position. Let's go ahead and slide the left foot forward. Come into a forward fold. Let your head drop down. Knees can be soft here. Take this easy. We're just coming out of a deep stretch on that left thigh. So let everything relax. Just come into a kind of a rag doll, letting your upper body be loose. Breathe. And then slowly inch your way up to standing by walking the hands up the body, making sure that you don't feel any sense of dizziness as you rise up. Reoxygenating with a breath as you come to the top. Take a full body stretch, fingers down to your toes. Deep breath in, bring your hands together at the top and take a crescent stretch to the right side. So Stretching into that right lateral side of the body. Really nice. Bring it back up to the top and then dive forward. Come into forward fold once again. Step your feet down. Come back to all fours position in tabletop. Let's take one round of cat-cow in table, dropping the belly down and inhaling for cow. Exhaling deeply, letting that back rise up for cat. And then come right back to table position, and we're going to bring the right foot forward. Oh, sorry, wrong one. We wouldn't want to do the same thing twice. Bring the left foot forward between the hands. Slide the right knee back. So just kind of see if you can slide the knee back so you have a long stretch into that right thigh. Again, we're just prepping the body, so we're kind of moving slowly into these stretches, especially if you're tight. I've already done a few warm-ups today, but I know the first time through, those hips can be really tight. So just breathe and relax. Nice. And then we're going to inhale, come on up, let your fingers float up to the sky, raise your arms, take a full stretch, in low crescent. And then bring your hands back down as we move into lizard on the other side. So taking your left hand to the inside of that left foot, heel toe the foot out to the side, toes, heel, and then toes again so that that foot is at a diagonal. Reset your arms so that the shoulders, elbows, and wrists are stacked once again. Hang here for this initial part of lizard. Make sure everything feels okay. Obviously, if you have any acute twinges or pain, you want to back off and come into a more traditional posture or a resting pose. This is meant to be a deep hip opener, so if it's not for you today, that's okay. You can try it again another time. And then if you're ready, you can start to fold forward, bringing your hands either down to the mat or to the tops of blocks. That's a really nice option here to kind of bring them halfway down on your flat block tops. And that way you don't have to sink all the way down into the floor, but you're definitely getting a deeper, more intense posture. Breathe here. Let go, let go, let go. And remember, you can have the option to lift that right knee up if the knee starts to get a little tender from being pressed down to the mat. Or you can let it drop back down, your choice. Breathe into that left hip. Deep external rotation. You probably feel it all the way into the lower back too. All of those muscles are very, very tightly aligned. So opening the hips often creates a lot of relief for low back pain. 3 more breaths here. Hang with it. Last one. Inhale, bring your hands back up so that you lift your upper body. Heel toe the foot back to the middle of the mat where it would be for a traditional lunge. Lift the right knee back up if it wasn't already, and slide that right knee forward, coming into a forward fold position once again. Soft, gentle knees. Just let your belly drape down. Breathe into your low back. Let your head relax. Your shoulders be soft. Take a little ragdoll here. And then once again,
Gently walk your hands up your body, lifting oh so slowly. Rising to the top, create your equilibrium. Once again, as you come all the way up, fingers reaching skyward. Inhale, full body stretch. And then once again, place your palms together, this time taking a crescent fold over to the left. Stretching into that right hip, down through the ribs, under the arm. Very nice. Bring it back up to the top, and we'll dive forward and forward. We're going to inhale, come up halfway this time, lengthen through your spine, bringing the crown of the head forward, engaging your belly to really support that lower back. Exhale and fold. Place your hands down on the mat, walk your feet backwards, and let's take it to a downward facing dog. Lifting your hips high, stretching and elongating through the spine. Taking our time here to really feel what you need. If you need to walk those feet, walk the dog, lifting one heel at a time, bending each knee alternately. Stretch back into lower lumbar all the way to the tailbone. Nice deep breath. And then come on forward, drop your knees down, and let's take it to a child's pose. Wrap your arms around to the back of your body and take 3 breaths in Balasana. Whatever you have that's hanging on today, let go, let go, let go. Inhale and come on back up to hands and knees. Lift those knees up once again and just walk your feet up to the front. Take 1 breath in Uttanasana and then rise to the top once again. Arms reach up and overhead, and then exhale, hands come to heart. Move into Vrksasana or tree pose. First, lifting the right knee up, rooting down through the left foot. Lift your energy up, feel the back elongate, feel that left hip nice and strong. Open the right knee out, and then guide the foot either above or below the knee. Feel the strength of the tree trunk of your body. If you like, you can lift your arms up, open your branches wide. And then bring your hands back to heart. We're then going to keep that leg up if you can. If you need to tap it down and take a break, it's okay. But keep that right knee up. Cross the thigh over the left thigh. Almost fell. Bend your left knee, sink down. So now we've got our legs crossed at the thighs. We're taking eagle legs. Hands are still at the heart. Up to you if you'd like to take the option of the full eagle pose with revolving the hands around each other and pressing the elbows forward. So if you want to twist those arms together. Breath here, holding yourself steady in your core. This takes core strength as well. And then bring the right foot back down. Hands can reach down. Inhale, arms up. Exhale and fold. Inhale, rise back up. Moving into Triya Vrksasana on the other side. Root down through your right foot, lift the left knee up. Feel your energy rising up, just like the sap running through a tree trunk, rising from the ground all the way up. And then turn that left knee out. Guide the foot into tree position, your choice above or below the knee. side to increase your expansion of the tree. You could open those arms out wide. Breathe in, beautiful oxygenation process. Lovely tree. Bring your hands back down to your heart. We're going to move right from tree into eagle again. So move the left leg across, crossing your left thigh over your right. You're going to bend to that right knee. So don't keep that right leg straight. Bend to the right knee. And option once again to twist your hands together, this time the other way. Or you can keep hands at the heart if that feels more stable for you today. Deep breath in, squeeze those thighs together. Squeeze them in at the center. And bring the left foot down. Inhale, arms up. Exhale and forward fold. Beautiful. From the forward fold position, walk your feet backwards. Take it to downward facing dog. Once again, let's just take a nice stretch through downward dog. Inhale all the way up and down the spine. Sits bones reaching high to the sky. Inhale, bring your right foot forward between your hands. Drop your left heel down and lift up to warrior position. Coming to Virabhadrasana 2. Hips are nice and open to the left side of your mat. Establish your foundation, pressing down through all four corners of your front foot and feeling the energy rising up through the outside of your left leg. Relax your elbows, relax your shoulders, and gaze over your front middle finger. One more breath here. We're moving slowly today. Let go, let go, let go. Beautiful. From warrior position, straighten the front leg. Take your right arm up and come into reverse triangles. Reaching that right arm up and over the body. And then keep your legs straight. Bring your arms back out in front as we move into Trikonasana. Right arm reaches forward, left hip pushes back. Right hand comes down to your shin, to a block or to the mat, and your left arm rises up. 3 full breaths here in triangle pose. Open your ribs a little bit wider to the left. Beautiful. One more breath. Go ahead and come back up. Come into reverse triangle once again, opening that side body. And then come back. Bring hands to your waist and pivot on your feet to a wide leg position. We're then going to fold forward. Coming into Prasarita Padottanasana. Wide leg forward fold. Outside of my feet are parallel to the outside of the mat. Take one breath in, come up to fingertips and lengthen through that spine. And then exhale, fold. We're going to change the feet position here, pointing the toes out and heels in. So your feet are now in a diagonal position instead of parallel. Bend the left knee and walk your hands over to the left. We're not turning the body. We're keeping the torso facing forward. Just dipping into the left knee, feeling that stretch in the inner right groin, right here. Breathe. And here you have an option. It depends on the opening in your hips. It depends on your knees. But if you like, you can sit all the way down on that left heel. flex the right foot, bringing your arm up, coming into Skandasana. All right, let's bring ourselves back. Come back up to the middle of the mat so that you're in a forward fold position. Inhale, lengthen through the spine. Exhale and fold. Walk your hands around to the front of the mat. Bring the left foot forward. Fold forward at the front of your mat, Uttanasana. Inhale, slowly rise up. Full body stretch, Urdhva Hastasana. And exhale, bring your hands down by your side. Take a breath in, mountain pose. Deep breath in. Let it out. We're going to step back with the right foot this time from a standing position and go right into Warrior Two. So open your arms wide. Feel your legs dip into that left knee. If you can, that left knee is tracking over your ankle or maybe a little bit behind. Hips are open wide to the right side of your mat. Relax those shoulders. Relax them. Beautiful. Couple more breaths here. Really key into the feeling of your feet connecting to the mat, rooting down, strong base of support. One more deep breath. And then straighten the front knee. Come into reverse triangle by just lifting that left arm up, reaching it over the ear. And then we're going to bring the arms back, reaching into full triangle. Left hand reaches forward, right hip slides back. And then cascade the left hand down to the shin, to a block. Remember, you can always put it on a nice tall block here. Give yourself extra support. Excellent idea for maintaining good alignment. Breathe here in triangle. 3 more breaths. One more. And then use that core strength to lift straight back up. Take the right hand to the thigh, left arm reaches up once again for reverse triangle. And then bring the arms back, pivot on your feet. We're going to come to a forward fold with wide legs. Come down with control, lifting up through those inner thighs. Let your head and hands reach down. Inhale, come up to fingertips, lengthen your spine. That means we literally pull the crown of the head forward, push the tailbone back. And then exhale, fold forward once again. Changing the feet position again to prepare for Skandasana. Point your toes out, heels slightly in. This time we're going to bend the right knee, walking the hands, sort of just crab walking it laterally to the right, in over toward that bent right knee. You can hang here, you can stay right here, just feeling that stretch in the inner left thigh. Or if you want to take it to fuller position, a little more intense, then you're just going to let your seat come right down on top of your right heel. Left leg is lengthened out, like stretching forward, and then you can let your arm rise to the top. The options are just that. Some days you may feel it, other days it may not be right for you. All right, bring your hands back down. If you had the full expression, come up. Walk your hands to the center once again. Lift right back up. Come to 5-point star this time, lifting straight up. And then carry the right arm around to the front, step it forward. Inhale, upward facing hands, and exhale, forward fold. Walk your feet backwards, take it to downward facing dog. Full breath in and out. Inhale, come down to tabletop position. From tabletop, lift your right knee up. Create some circles with the right knee. Hip circles around, just engaging that gluteal muscle for control and support. Navel is still hugging in, so you have a nice strong core body. One more time around, and then go ahead and cross the right knee behind the left knee and sit back. Just press back into those hips as we internally rotate those hips, squeezing and releasing. Letting your belly just drop down on top of your left thigh. One more breath. Come on back up. Bring your knees back to the right position in tabletop. And then we're going to lift the knees up one more time. Press back to downward facing dog. From downward facing dog, lift your right leg up. Come into a split leg or three-legged dog. And then carry that right leg all the way through. Come and bring it up to the front of the mat for a low lunge position. Drop the left heel down. We're going to lift up one more time to Warrior Two. Deep breath here. Exhale. Take it to reverse warrior. Exhale, Warrior Two. Carry the left arm around, bring it down to the mat. Right arm's going to lift up for a twist. The right hand back down, and then slide the right foot. Move to downward facing dog. Bring the right foot back. Take a full breath. Inhale. Exhale and let go. Downward dog. Lift the left leg up once again. Stretch and reach. Engage that gluteal muscle to help create the lift and the strength. And then carry the left leg all the way through. Drop the right heel down and then inhale up to Warrior Two once again. Should feel a little bit more native now that we've really opened those hips. We've already moved into Warrior Ones today. Take it to reverse warrior. Right hand drops down, left arm carries up and over. Beautiful. Back to Warrior Two. Right arm cartwheels around, take it down to the mat, move into your lunging twist. Nice, bring that left hand down. Left foot comes back, downward facing dog. Breathe in. Exhale and let go. Inhale, come forward, hands and knees position, and press back to child. Take a couple of extra breaths here. Exhale. All right. Check my timing here. 3, 6. All right, come back up to hands and knees position. From our tabletop position, we're just going to sit back on the feet and we're going to roll back into Malasana or Malasana squat. So if you know that you need blocks for Malasana, go ahead and set those up underneath your seat.
either one or even two, depending on how your knees are feeling today. Or if you can sit down and rock back all the way onto your feet, then you're in good shape there. I'm going to turn this way just so you can see me. Bring hands together at the heart, pressing your hands inward. Grow your spine as long and high as you can. Crown of your head is lifting up. Your elbows are pressing into your inner knees, pressing them away. We're going to take 5 breaths here in Malasana. Just dropping in. This is a really great stretch for the lower back as well. Reasons that we do this pose on almost every prenatal class. Is it wonderful for the hips, for the lower back? Strengthen and lengthen up through the crown of the head. Take one more. Our seat, so if you have a support in place, pull that out of the way. Come on down to your actual seat, bring your knees forward. And we're going to take the left foot around to the right hip, and we're going to cross the right leg over. So we're coming into a little bit of a pretzel seat here with right foot across. Your right foot can even be in front of the knee, or you can guide it a little bit further back so that you're a little tighter pretzel, if you will. Clench your sits bones down in the center. Make sure that you can feel your base of support. And then I just want you to hug that right knee into your chest. Just hug it in. Maybe taking the elbow around the knee, taking the right hand behind. You can take a little twist in the spine at the same time you're pulling that right thigh in. Breathe and relax. It's Ardha Matsyendrasana. Half Lord of the Fish pose. What do you need? What is not serving your purpose today? Just let it go. Allow yourself to come back to center. Let's uncross the legs, make everything in a nice neutral position, and then we'll guide ourselves the other way. So right foot comes underneath and back toward the left thigh. Left leg crosses over. Hug that knee in. So just kind of first feel the sensation of the release. We are rotating the hips internally now after all of those deep external rotations. So you're going to feel that sensation in the hip. And I want you to lift up through the spine as well. This helps strengthen the muscles of the mid-back. It's a real area of weakness for some people, including myself. I can feel it. And if you want to, take your right elbow, wrap it around the knee. Left hand can come behind the back and help yourself into a little deeper twist. One more breath here. And then bring everything back to center, uncross your legs. And we're going to roll on down to our backs. I had a couple of other poses, believe it or
not ready to go today, but I think that we've probably done plenty. I was gonna have us move into pigeon, but I think everything else is probably right about enough. If you're feeling a little tingle in your hips as I am, then you can tell where we worked today. Just go ahead and hug those knees into the chest for a moment. Take a little bit of a, maybe even take it into a happy baby, bringing the feet up to the ceiling. And letting your hands come up the sides of your legs, holding on to your shin, maybe your ankle, or perhaps the outside of your feet. Just let your knees drop down towards your armpits. Gently press down through the lower back. So you're trying to establish as much contact through the spine as you can. You have to press down hard and just gently feeling some pressure in the lower back. Breathe into the hips. Breathe into your low back. Relax your shoulders. Just take a couple more breaths here in Ananda Balasana. Let your feet come together. Come down to the mat. And we're just going to go ahead and extend those legs all the way down. Moving towards Shavasana, let's just relax here. Let those hips be wide. Relax through the legs if the feet want to flop open or toward the center. Do whatever feels most natural. Just feel the glow of release in the hips and pelvic region. Come back to mindful awareness of your breath. Breathing in sweet oxygen that nourishes your system. Letting your lungs deflate and empty of all stress and anxiety. moment of gratitude for your practice. The light in me is honored and grateful for the light